My name is Chad Alexander, and sometimes I go places.
The talent is crazy.
Today, we have the pleasure of taking a Boeing 787-9 to Frankfurt aboard Lufthansa Airlines, Germany's flagship carrier. This will be a 9-hour flight in economy over the Atlantic Ocean, and it is the first long-haul flight both my mom and my sister have ever taken. Now, I've been on many different long-haul flights in economy class in the past, so my goal today is to gauge how well Lufthansa is doing in 2023 and 2024, so you can determine if Lufthansa is right for your next trip. Stick around to see how well the flight went, and if Lufthansa is worth the money.
I'm gonna need your help and Christine too, reviewing this flight because you guys have never taken a long haul flight before.
This is true. Nope. Okay.
The farthest you've ever gone is where?
LA.
LA, which is 3 hours.
Yeah. 3.5.
And
I think mine's is Minnesota farther.
It's about the same.
Yeah.
yeah, and today's flight to Germany is 9 hours and 45 minutes. How are you feeling about that, Mom?
Not good.
Thank you very much.
Our journey begins in Austin, Texas, where we will board a 8:45 p.m. flight to Frankfurt, Germany. Austin-Bergstrom is a smaller, slightly easier airport to navigate than most. This flight we're taking today is actually the longest non-stop flight offered out of the city, as international destinations are pretty limited here. The check-in process was efficient and off to a great start. Right after we had to take these awkward photos in this funny little machine, a quick passport check, and we were on our way, taking a hard right to the back as soon as we stepped foot on the plane. We may not have premium seating today, but this would be an overnight flight, so maybe it'll be easier to get some rest. So without further ado, let's get started on our journey.
Should adopt in the event of an emergency landing. We will soon be ready for takeoff.
Immediately, we were greeted with the in-flight safety video, presented on a big, high-quality display. This was one of the best screens I have personally seen in economy, and was packed with features that I'll get back to later. You may think the size of the screen doesn't make that big of a difference since it's pushed just inches from your face, but it really does. If you're someone who relies heavily on the in-flight entertainment experience, Lufthansa gets an A+ here. Like most of the long-haul carriers, you also get a pillow and a blanket in economy class, which, depending on the person, can be more cumbersome than useful, but still appreciated. I often get annoyed with a pillow since it takes up some of the little personal room you have, and is made slightly less useful with the seat design, which has these foldable wings that you can rest your head on. And the seats, despite being comparable on paper to most other economy seats elsewhere, were actually surprisingly comfortable. In fact, I would actually say that we all agreed that these seats were the most comfortable economy seats that we'd ever been in. Directly before you, there's a fold-out tray that gets the job done and can hold a meal and a drink, but not much more, and a USB charger plus headphone jack for audio, which is located directly under the screen. But Lufthansa really surprised me with their Bluetooth-enabled seats, so I was able to comfortably connect my AirPods and listen cord-free. This is still a pretty rare feature for economy seats around the world, at least in my experience. So great job here, Lufthansa. I also purchased in-flight Wi-Fi just to try it out. Lufthansa offers a few different options for a few different prices, depending on the flight. I went with the cheapest option just for messaging, which was about $8 because I really didn't need any reliable speed other than to send a WhatsApp message from time to time. But to my surprise, I was not restricted in just what I could do once I was online. Yes, it was very slow, but I was still able to load web pages and otherwise use the internet normally. It definitely wasn't fast enough to stream any sort of video, but in a pinch and with a little patience, you could definitely make a Google search. And speaking of videos, the in-flight entertainment was packed with, well, entertainment. Movies, TV shows, games, podcasts, audiobooks, music, and my absolute favorite, the 3D map. A 9-hour journey feels much shorter when you have an extensive library to choose from, and all for free. I found myself hanging out mostly in the movie section, but undoubtedly you can find something interesting no matter what you're looking for with this many options to choose from. The movie and TV selection was extensive and had lots of recent films from Hollywood, as well as films from all over the world in many different languages. Likewise, you can control your reading light, call the flight attendant, which I accidentally did several times, my apologies, but no individual fan controls. Oh, and the screen flips out nicely.
But why would I need that?
When they lean back.
The game's absolutely terrible, so bring your own, but the 3D map, amazing. I was zooming in and out of this thing until my fingers hurt. All in all, there's a lot to keep you busy, so don't stress about not having downloaded content on your personal devices beforehand. By this point, we were a couple hours into our journey and we were feeling pretty good. Food service for economy class starts around here, and because we were flying overnight, we would be served dinner and breakfast, along with some drink services that would be sprinkled in. Starting with dinner, everyone in economy class gets to pick from 2 different options, a meat and a vegetarian entree. Gluten-free options could also be ordered, but only in advance. What I got, for example, was some chicken and rice, a bread roll, cheese and crackers, quinoa, and a pastry for dessert. This is where I felt like Lufthansa was most lacking thus far. The food we had throughout the trip was fine, we ate it, but it definitely wasn't great. Big points would have been deducted if the meat would have been chewy, or the bread would have been hard, or something like that, but really it was all just a little bland and boring, even for economy. Many other airlines do a better job with their food presentation, and Lufthansa just really didn't stand out to me this time. The other option, which was pasta, was also just okay, and the gluten-free wasn't any better. Later on, breakfast was definitely the low point of the entire trip. We had been on the flight for a while and were growing tired. We all got a ham and cheese with fruit, which was especially bland. Looking around, I noticed most people either took a couple of bites or just threw it away altogether. It clearly was not a big hit. But as coffee came around, everyone began to perk up as we were nearing our destination. Depending on the traveler, service can be a very important factor. The crew managing our flight were really hardworking and did a great job of keeping things moving. I wouldn't say the most friendly service, but definitely attentive. The bathrooms, which are very important to me personally, were not the most well kept or even stocked. Soap and water and a baby changing station were all you were going to get. I've seen more amenities before, such as mouthwash, wipes, etc., but this time there was no such thing. On the flip side, the pilots were friendly, informative, and gave us a smooth, on-time flight from start to end.
So we just arrived in Germany 10 hours later, and I think we're all pleasantly surprised with how well we feel getting here. Obviously, economy is never fun, but I've definitely felt worse. I've definitely had worse journeys in economy. So overall, I really do give it a thumbs up. Lufthansa did a great job. How would you rate the flight? 1 through 10 in economy with Lufthansa. 1 through 10.
8. I didn't have any, like, it felt like it went by really fast.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Overall, Lufthansa provides a really solid economy option for international travelers, specifically on this plane configuration that we rode on today. Boarding and timeliness were perfect. The seats and comfort were also some of the best that I've personally experienced in economy. However, the food was a little disappointing and the amenities were about average, nothing special. Good service and in-flight entertainment helped make up for that, leaving me thinking Lufthansa has one of the best economy deals on the market in 2024. A solid 4-star experience based on the competition. I really am looking forward to riding with them again, and I imagine I will soon with just how much coverage they have all over the world. Check out some of my other airline reviews below, and I'll see you in the next video.